Hello and welcome back to another no-code tutorial. Today we are implementing a drag and drop zone custom widget into FlutterFlow as in a FlutterFlow web app. So here's a quick demo. So this is in the testing mode. So we'll kind of grab up here. There's two different widgets here. One is updating the app state, which is the bottom one, and the second one's updating the page state. And as you can see, when we drag and drop here, this one kind of has some dynamic functionality depending on if the image is uploaded. So if we drag it here and drop the image, it uploads and it's uploading to Supabase. There is a little update notification here, and then the updated image is here. And you can see on the debug panel that it's uploaded, it's changed the app state. And if we head to our Supabase, this one is, I'm pretty sure, connected to this. So we'll just refresh this. And as you can see, this is the tiger image that we've just uploaded. And if we click on this, it shows the uploaded image. So this is the URL from the Supabase storage. So we'll do a similar thing, but use a different image on the other widget. So this one's uploading to Supabase as well, Supabase storage. And as you can see, this is the image. The page state has updated. This one is going to a different folder, images, but you can see at the bottom, cheetah, that is the animal there. So that's that's what we'll be kind of covering today. So we'll go through the custom widget code, and I'll also clone this project as well so that you have all the information. I will also, just like previous tutorials, I have a Notion website where I have the code as well. So in here, I have the custom widget code for both the page state version and the app state version. As you can see here, the custom widget for the app state version is just one custom widget, but with the page state version, there is some additional complexity. We also have to use a custom function. So it's a little bit more complex to implement, but there may be reasons you'll need the page state version instead. So we'll step through all of that. Okay, so let's go over to our FlutterFlow UI builder. So you can see there's two different custom widgets on here. This is how they appear on the UI builder, page state, app state. If we head to the app state version, there are multiple parameters that we have kind of built into the custom widget code. So as you can see here, we can change the border radius, we can change the border color, the background, the border width, the loading indicator color, the icon size, the text size, and also because there's some dynamic functionality based on, if we come back here, as you can see, if I hover the mouse over it, it changes the color of the background and also the border color. So those we can change those in the parameters. But then if we hover an image over, the background image changes as well, but also the text changes, as you can see. So it changes from drop an image or click to upload to just drop image here. This app state version widget it's kind of a bit more fine-tuned. As you can see here, there's no hover functionality for the page state version, but you can, with the help of ChatGPT, you know, based on the code for the app state version, you should be able to incorporate that functionality in this version as well. But for the moment, I haven't done that, but you can figure that out, I'm sure. Another one to note is, for this app state version, it is uploading to Supabase. So in here, you can actually change what bucket and what folder name you'll be working with. So with Supabase here, this is the bucket, so YouTube, and then the folder name I've used is Testing July. So whatever, if I wanted to use Testing June, for example, I would just change that, the folder name in here is just a string, and that will dynamically change. So, and then the page state version, there are also some parameters here that we can change, but there is just less of them, so that we don't have the Supabase bucket name that's at the moment hard-coded into the custom widget, but you can change that later with the help of ChatGPT. If you're more familiar with coding, you can just do that yourself. As you can see, another one here with the page state version is with pass through as a parameter a action. So a callback function, callback action, and within this one, we are updating the page state through this mechanism. And one thing, so the reason why we need a custom function is to display, these images here. You need to pass through a path, but it has to be a image path. So you can't just pass through a string, it has to be an image path. So with this, it returns, I couldn't figure out within the custom widget how to return a image path because it's effectively a string. So with the custom widget, it only returns you can only get it to return a string. But if you try and update the page state, which is a image path, it doesn't work. There's a difference between the string and the image path. So the custom function is just converting the string path to an image path. And then once it's converted to an image path, then you can use that value to update the page state. As you can see here, if we go to the home page, there is a uploaded image URL page state name with the type image path. So that's that one. And if you come to here, you can see we have the same thing with the uploaded image URL image path. So yeah, interestingly, when we head to the code, the app state version, you can, you don't have to, this image path here can accept a string and an image path, whereas with the page state variable, it has to explicitly be an image path. You can't just pass the string through to it, if that makes sense. I'm a noob, so apologies if what I'm saying is like, what's this guy talking about? I'm still learning with the help of my tutor called ChatGPT. So we'll go through to the custom code now. There's two custom widgets with this tutorial. So there's a Dropzone app state version and a page state version. And then as you can see here, there's a custom function here, which we use for the page state version. And all it is doing is taking a string and returning an image path. So this here, the image path is the image URL string and it's returning an image path. And this URL string so this is the argument. So it's receiving a URL string. And that is as part of the, sorry, I'm kind of going a bit back and forth, but if we come back to the page state version, the action flow editor, this here, we're setting that value. That value is, we're getting that from the callback parameter image. Hold up. Yeah, the value is so the custom function is receiving, so the argument is an image URL string, and that value we're getting from the callback parameter. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a step back. We'll go through the app state version first, and then we'll go through the page state version. Okay, so this is, again, I'm going to clone this project so that you have access to all of this information. But I also, again, have that on here as well. So all the code that we're discussing, you have access to. So yeah, so that hopefully is useful for you guys. one thing we need to do, because we are working with Supabase as well, when we upload the image, this is uploading to Supabase. So what we need to do first is connect our Supabase to this project. And we do that, we need the API URL and the anon key. So if you're not familiar, you go to your Supabase project and we go to project settings and you get that information here. So API configuration, project URL, so you'd copy that, come here, paste that in here, in this section. And then the anon key is just this one here. So you copy this and you would paste that in here. And then what you'll do is connect and get schema. And then once you have that, once you have connected Supabase with your FlutterFlow project, this custom code here will now work, because you can see here we are, if we go to the app state one, if you come down, this is a lot of code, by the way. There's a lot kind of to this. I'm not even going to pretend to be able to explain all of it. But you could probably copy all of this into ChatGPT and it can break down line by line what everything means. But I just want to come down to the Supabase part here. Where is it? The dotted is loading. Future. Super. Oh, so here we've got the there's some information around like bucket name, client storage. Anyways, this code is kind of predicated on you connecting your Supabase information here. Like if you don't do this, then this code won't work. So that's important to do. These are all the different parameters. So these are the things you can dynamically update in the UI. And as you can see on the side here, the app state one, we're not passing through a callback function so these are just, so if you literally copy this code and create a new custom widget, paste in this code, make sure that you name it the same name as, what this is called. And you click save, it will dynamically define all these parameters. So it becomes quite useful. Another thing to keep in mind is that we are using two dependencies. We're using two packages here. We're using the Flutter Dropzone package and the dotted border package. The dotted border is just to do this because as far as I'm aware, you can't create a dotted line border natively within FlutterFlow. So you have to get that functionality from, that we're using this package here. Maybe a few things. So the app state, so we mentioned before, so this one is, we'll be changing this, the app state here. Just trying to think of any other kind of thing to discuss updating the app state. So I think that is cool. Like I said, I'm not going to attempt to try and explain this because this was a back and forth I had with ChatGPT to kind of get all of this working. I don't necessarily know what all of this means. I'm just being honest with you. So moving on to this one was, I like just due to its simplicity because you just have this custom widget updates to the app state. But I know, and the app that I'm working with kind of AI generated images, I need to work with some page state. So I needed another version where I had that ability for this uploaded image when it gets uploaded to Supabase. So instead of changing app state, I'm just changing a page state. So that's what this one is. So I'm providing both options here for you guys. So we're moving on to the page state version. So this one here, as you can see, it is adding a parameter, which is a callback function. So in here, this one's called onImageUpload, and there's a parameter within this parameter, and this is an image URL. So I'm pretty sure what is happening here is as we upload an image to Supabase, it is getting that URL. So in this case, if we come to this testing July, this image, when this gets uploaded to Supabase, this custom, this code here will detect that image URL and kind of will save that information. It will kind of save that value, whatever that URL is. So if we come back here and we come back to this page state, the page state version Dropzone, and we come to see on image uploaded. So that's the name of the parameter. That's this one here, on image uploaded. So the parameter type is an action. And then that action is taking a parameter, which is the image URL. So if we come down here, the action is we're updating the page state, and we're setting the fields. The update type is setting the value, and the value set, so we'll take a little bit of time on this one. Let's remove it so we can start from scratch. So we know how to update a page state module, so we're doing that. Let's just remove that. We'll start from scratch. So we're updating page state, we're adding the field. This page state, the only page states available is the uploaded image URL, so we're clicking that, and that's the image path. The update type is setting the value, and to set the value, we click on this. And what we're doing is, if you come here, this is what I was explaining earlier. So ideally what we would do is the callback parameter is the image URL. So as part of that custom widget, it's kind of saving the uploaded Supabase URL image as this parameter, as image URL. But the reason why we can't select it is because the page state is an image path, and the returned, the callback parameter value here, image URL, is a string. And so even though, they're exactly the same value, that this image URL string is the same as the image path string, for some reason, it can't receive it. So what we do is we have to create that custom function, which we'll quickly go through just as a reminder. That's this thing here, convert string to image path. That's this. We've saved this function here, and its argument is image URL string. So whatever we define as that argument is going to convert that string to an image path. Coming back here again. So in here, so ideally what we would do is click this, and I tried back and forth with ChatGPT to return an image path instead of a string, but I think under the hood they're the same thing. There's just something with FlutterFlow is it's not accepting it. So what we have to do instead is, instead of going here, we go to custom function, and then we click convert string image path. And now that we're in this custom function, as you can see earlier, it's taking an argument, and the argument is an image URL string. So here we can pass through this callback parameter, image URL. So that's because this one, the argument is the type string, and the image URL from the custom widget is also a string. So it can receive it. And then this function just takes that string and returns a image path. And that image path is that value is what we'll be using to update the page state, if that makes sense. then rebuild, and then we close, and then that's all good. So I'm pretty sure that's everything. Apologies for kind of going back and forth. I kind of just recorded this video and just started talking. But hopefully it makes sense. And if there's things that I miss, you can, clone this project and kind of hopefully figure it out yourself. But hopefully I've given you a place to get started. This is something I've been trying to find for a while, because I am trying to build a lot of the mobile apps that I'm working on building. I want to have a web app version as well. I think that provides kind of a nice point of difference, having a mobile app that also has a web app version. So having a web app version as part of the UX, you're often dealing with uploading images and uploading images, uploading files on a web app. The UX is very much, having the ability to drag in a file and upload it from that. And I just couldn't figure out how to do that myself. So this was the first time kind of figuring this out with a page state version and an app state version. So yeah, hopefully you find it useful. Just before I go, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I missed. The Supabase, the custom widgets. There's no custom actions involved here. Custom function. This is just kind of small details, but this is the ones for app state, ones for page state, and they're just conditionally visible. That's kind of like a small potato sort of a thing. And yeah, one thing if there's things you want to kind of change here, you can just copy the custom widget code and just, let's say there's some something that you want to include as a parameter for this custom widget that's currently hard coded. Like for example, this icon is hard coded. If there's things that you want to add as a parameter, just copy the custom widget code into ChatGPT or Claude 3.5. Little tip: trying to develop this website, this custom widget using ChatGPT 4 alone, I wasn't able to do it. The only way I could figure it out was actually to use Claude 3.5. So yeah, maybe if you're creating custom widgets yourself using ChatGPT, I would recommend trying out Claude. The only issue with Claude is there's limits, at least for me in Australia. I have limits. I can only do X amount of messages before it caps me out, and I have to come back in a few hours. So that's pretty annoying. And also they put a cap on how many images you can upload into each chat, which is also a bit weird and annoying. But I found that it was good at solving a lot of these problems. So yeah, something to keep in mind. But other than that, I think that's all for this tutorial. I hope it is handy. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm busy with kind of my normal job, which is in Web3, but I will try and look at all the comments and kind of get to them all. I think one thing I might do soon is set up a Discord so that there's a place where people can easily come to and ask questions, and I can easily monitor everything there. But yeah, for the time being, drop a comment with any suggestions, any questions. I'll try and get to them, and hopefully when work allows me a bit more time, I will be more diligent with keeping track of the comments and replying to them and whatnot. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.